Erica Lorraine Spencer here. Today is Saturday, January 16th, 2021. The significance of what I'm documenting, I am documenting the same criminal system in operation in the state of California, and that is a public entity engaging in a criminal monitoring system whereby it is acting with the people of the state, that is the people of the state of California, that are engaged in a criminal monitoring system via communication devices. And they are monitoring where there are three elements present. It is a ceaseless and malicious state criminal system engaging in what is targeting American citizens, while there is ceaseless engagement in three criminal elements. And these are three elements that are perpetually present. And my documentation is the exposure of the criminal system that the state of California is engaged in. Excuse me. In addition to what is making bare the everyday ongoing criminal monitoring that is right in front of your face, where the people of the state of California, the public entity that is acting vicariously through the people of the state of California, that is the state itself, the entity itself, is engaged in a ceaseless criminal system of monitoring, and the elements are always present, and this is documentation speaking to and revealing the ways in which the entity is maliciously engaged in that monitoring system. There are three elements present at all times whereby a public entity is monitoring with communication devices. The first element is light, any manner of light creation, light activity. The second element is activity. That is a term of art when you're speaking of monitoring with communication devices. It's literally anything that you can hear, anything that you can see, and anything that you can feel, essentially. So activity is audible activity, visible activity, and understand the creation of light activity is visible activity as well, okay? And sensational activity. Sensational activity is anything like rumbling or vibrating or shaking, anything that you can feel, anything that's causing movement, physical movement that is perceivable through touch, okay? And the third criminal element is relevant positioning, and that is literally the group stalking conduct that the public entity is engaged in. Now, the public entity is engaged in group stalking both directly and vicariously. As I have shown and as I consistently point out, the state is engaged in group stalking directly by police, planes, helicopters, fire, and ambulance. The state of California, a public entity that is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, is engaged in group stalking. Excuse me, I'm kind of getting over allergies. It's not a cold. I don't get sick. It's group stalking directly, okay, through police, fire, ambulance, and via aircraft, that is airplanes and helicopters. This is group stalking by the public entity itself, acting directly. The public entity is acting vicariously through the people of the state. And California is engaged in this criminal system, acting vicariously through the people of the state of California, and they are engaged in group presence. Group presence is deliberate, it is intentional, it is entirely malicious, it is embedded into society. The state of California, the public entity that is engaged in a federal group stalking and monitoring system, has made itself intentionally present through the very people of that state. Anywhere that you go, in any public place, any private place, meaning any private residence, there is no place where the government is not present. It is acting through the people of the state of California. And this is that which the people of that state, the people of the state of California, are not ignorant of or innocent to. The behavioral pattern, the documentation speak to a behavioral pattern that is entirely intentional as the state is stalking with light, with activity, and with its presence. Third parties are abiding by the exact same behavioral pattern. It is entirely intentional and malicious. They are monitoring the very documentation of their criminal activity. And so what I'm speaking to is, and what I am focused on, particularly with regard to the latest documentation, is the first element, which is stalking with light. And also stalking with light is visible activity. And this is that which the state of California, the public entity, is acting directly and vicariously. They are both engaging in this criminal element. Third parties do it using their vehicles chiefly. I'm speaking to a pattern of conduct where third parties are stalking with light. That's the first element, using typically their hazard lights. They can also use their reverse lights. their turn signals, their brake lights, their high beams, any manner of light creation, even little lights on a bike, okay, flashlights, any manner of light activity where third parties are as a group maintaining presence and keeping the targeted individuals surrounded, and that is stalking with light while they are intentionally maintaining that group presence. The state of California, the public entity directly, is engaging in this stalking with light via a fake sun and molesting the targeted individual. This is what I'm documenting. The state is engaged in ceaseless molestation of my person with light, aiming light on all of the surfaces all around onto my person and in multiple directions. This is stalking with light because the state of California is engaged in monitoring with communication devices, and this is the first element of monitoring with communication devices. It's criminal monitoring. It is also sexual violation, repeated, routine, systematic, ceaseless violation of the person that public entity is monitoring. This is sexual violence that the state of California is engaged in. It is sexual violence that the state of California is sanctioning as it is engaged in the criminal system in concert with the people of the state of California who are intentionally maintaining presence, engaging in that same sexual violence, intentionally, maliciously, with the diligent effort to also stalk with light, to touch with light, to maintain presence with light. So this is concerted conduct. And this is the behavioral pattern. This is the literal engagement in the pattern of conduct. So sexual violence is inherent to the pattern of conduct. And this is what my documentation, particularly today and yesterday, but all of it is speaking to the same pattern of conduct. But what I'm talking about is my latest documentation, and I published as I'm sitting at D Street in Euclid, as I remain at the shaded areas seated between 280 Lemon Apartments and the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. And I am speaking to the state stalking with its light, meaning stalking literally is defined as remaining, okay, or following, okay. And this is not only what they're doing physically, they're doing it with activity. They're doing it with noise, okay? Anything that you can hear, they are literally stalking with noise. They are remaining in relevant position with noise, okay? This is that which I am documenting. This is the system of federal group stalking and monitoring. It is all manner of stalking, all right? Not only stalking physically, that's the group stalking conduct, stalking with light, literally remaining with light, following with light, okay, stalking in that unheard of, unprecedented, highly demented manner, and stalking with activity, all right? And this is because the public entity, the state of California, is monitoring with communication devices. And so this is what my documentation is focused on, this very foreign, unheard of, but this is speaking to that which is the psychopath I'm documenting. And so when I say that I am not being hyperbolic, it is ongoing, real-time stalking with a light source in the sky that is not the sun. And I am specifically providing timestamps of pictures, screenshots, videos, where you can even see where I am in one location versus another. You can compare and contrast. If the actual sun was at this location at this time, then you would see it when I'm taking a picture 24 hours later, or at or around the same exact time, from a different angle, and you're able to compare and contrast. And this is what I provided. This is what I published, and this is for not only for the prosecution of the state of California. You know, the state is already prosecuted. I am literally exposing how a public entity engages in this highly demented psychopath level of stalking in all manners, okay? And it is stalking, and it is that which is unheard of. It is that which is depicting the targeting entity, not the targeted individual. This is a government. This is a people that are engaged in psychopath level criminal conduct, all because they want to monitor an American citizen, okay? And this is a group. And it is a large group. It is the people of the state of California. The people of the state of California are intentionally monitoring American citizens, and they are engaged in that same psychopath behavioral pattern. This is speaking to a very bothersome reality with regard to the mental state of a vast amount of people. This is not, and this is what the documentation shows, this is not a series of coincidences that are occurring over and over again. Documentation is relevant for more than one purpose. You're not only serving it for evidence, but it is showing the absence. It literally removes even bringing up the notion of coincidence. This is the pattern of conduct. It is established by documentation as the pattern of conduct, and it is also speaking to that which is sexual violence and that which is also of a psychopath, and it is the exact same label that you would apply to any individual engaging in this manner of this conduct. And you have a group and you have a government, moreover, engaging in it together. And so the significance of this is, and what I am honing in on is the stalking with light. And understand, it's a behavioral pattern. The state is doing it in the manner in which it is capable of literally placing a light source in the sky and in real time moving. I have provided documentation. You are literally looking at, even in the still images, you are looking at from picture to picture real-time movement from one place to another, and even in video. You're looking, I provided video today, January 16, 2021. You are literally looking at the light source moving from one side of the building to the other. Understand that this is criminal monitoring. It is extreme, demented, highly demented conduct of a psychopath. This is also demonic activity, and I am literally making it manifest before your eyes and your ears. And I am also exposing that which is a demonic system. It is a criminal monitoring system, never addressed under federal legislation, and that which I advocate, I have written, I have designed to address every criminal tactic of a public entity such as California that is acting with the people of that state to criminally monitor an American citizen and engaging in the most insane, but not in any way that removes criminal responsibility. They are abiding by a very strict code of criminal conduct in order to monitor, and they are diligently doing so. These are obsessive, hovering, paranoid level stalkers engaging in highly malicious conduct, and it is that which is embedded in society so that they can seamlessly engage in this criminal system. All they have to do is be present, and the government has made itself vicariously present all around the targeted individual. And so anyway, this is P.O.C. It's currently, again, it's January 16, 2021, and that's what my documentation is honed in on. This is what I'm focused on, the light, and it is the first element for criminal monitoring. Erica Lorraine Spencer, and that is the P.O.C. 5 WWN 309, group stalking and monitoring with third-party L498DO, acting with the rest of the same group as they're patrolling, going up and down East Holt Boulevard as I'm walking east, and the state's fake sun is in tow. It is 8:49 a.m. I stopped to get this documentation at around 8:47. It is currently 8:51 a.m., 7GKZ053, and again, I just took images of where the state's fake sun is, and that is positioned over 802 East Holt Boulevard, called J&V Auto Parts Accessories, and this is where the state's fake sun is remaining directly over me. It's just moving east as I am moving east, staying directly over my shoulder, and directly above me while the state is engaging in creating ongoing audible activity via planes. And so as you move to any location, the state is maintaining activity, and third parties are maintaining activity and presence as well in concert with it. And as I stated, while they are doing so, the ongoing touching while they're stalking and monitoring, and this is in the form of the ongoing pattern of conduct. As they are driving east and west, you have orange lines of light moving in the same direction. So as they're driving their car past on Holt Boulevard, and I'm walking on the sidewalk on Holt Boulevard, orange lines of light moving on the asphalt, at the direction that they're driving the car, these lines of light. I just want to be clear as I'm illustrating what the state and third parties are doing, because it's concerted conduct. This orange line of light, multiple lines of light, moving with their car on the ground as they're driving past, both east and west directions, okay? So, for example, Omnitrans, approximately 9-10 minutes ago, at around 8:39 a.m., driving westbound as I am walking east on Holt Boulevard. And as it is driving westbound on Holt Boulevard, on the opposite side of the street, large orange lines of light reach all the way across Holt Boulevard in order to touch me as I'm walking east on Holt Boulevard on the sidewalk and in the shade. That's P.O.C. And I want to be clear with regard to third parties. They are one group, and so you just have them grouping now on the sidewalk in front of me. This is the P.O.C. So now it's got 49498X2. And that's the same pattern of conduct. They group wherever it is that I stop, especially. Everywhere that I go, they begin grouping. If there's not a group there, a group arrives, and that's what they're doing now. So that's just another third party that is present, creating light activity, stalking with light, the absence of any coincidence. It's ongoing P.O.C. while orange lines of light are reaching across Holt Boulevard as they're driving west and as they're driving east, which is impossible light activity. This is concerted conduct as they are engaged in ongoing sexual molestation, 49498X2, and the license plate of the third party that I read, which is L498DO, engaged in criminal facilitation of that monitoring and facilitation of that sexual violation. They're acting with the state, creating light activity such that the third parties and the state are able to more effectively monitor. That's what the purpose is of light. That's what the purpose is of stalking with the fake sun for RLV 488. And I'm going to go ahead and capture again what is the fake sun directly over this venue at this time. All right, 61555Z1. Another third party, they're just grouping out in front of J&V Auto Parts Accessories. That's not even open. What's today? Saturday. Opens at 9 o'clock. They're grouping up. They're getting ready. They're here present, especially because I have stopped and I'm using my phone. And I want to go ahead and get a picture of this light activity right here. This is the same P.O.C. Every third party. All right, it's 8:58 a.m. and on the traffic cameras, Omnitrans number 1324 crossing path right now while I'm standing in the shade, engaging in molesting with light with the state. That's aiming that light onto me while I'm standing in the shade, and its fake sun is on the opposite side, supposedly above the building, while Omnitrans is driving past. That is P.O.C. That's again, they're sitting at the Omnitrans is sitting at the red light right now at 8:58 a.m. engaged in the same group stalking and monitoring and sexual molestation while it's acting with the state that is stalking by plane and stalking with a literal fake sun object. As third parties, just like Omnitrans, engage in concerted conduct, light molesting all over the sidewalk in the building as they're driving past under the state's light source, which is a fake sun. It is 8:59 a.m., I believe. And the video that I just captured shows the ongoing pattern of conduct with regard to the state's use of its fake sun, which is in front of me, and also, again, move from position. Let me get a picture of Omnitrans, which is a group stalker and a sex offender. I did go ahead and get an image of that. That's Omnitrans in relevant position. Just like every third party, Omnitrans is readily identifiable. It is a larger vehicle, and you can readily identify its number, even though I can go by just Omnitrans specifically, and that identifies the third party. But I do go the distance to identify the bus number, the time, and or license plate. Specifically, though, that is relevant to the third party that is driving that vehicle, engaging in that sexual molestation, because that's what it is. They're touching all over together in concert with the state, with light which is not naturally occurring, while that which is not the sun is remaining directly above me because I'm subject to criminal monitoring, which Omnitrans is facilitating. And Omnitrans engages in maintaining presence like every other third party, engaging in that concerted conduct, which is the absence of coincidence. And doing so because it is aware, because it's monitoring with the state, of my documentation of its criminal activity. And it is a communication of a threat by Omnitrans. It's a communication of hostility to that documentation of its criminal activity. That includes sexual violence practiced by Omnitrans in concert and on behalf of the state. So it's 9 a.m. right now. And what I was speaking to was the video that I took of the impossible light activity. And this is impossible light activity because as I'm standing on the sidewalk facing east on J&V Auto Parts, And what you'll see is my shadow that's appearing in front of me, where the state's fake sun is also in front of me. So this is not causing a shadow behind me. It's the state's fake sun is directly above, and it would be in front, causing a shadow behind. I'm standing in the shade by the building, and this is light that's being aimed onto the ground. The state is aiming light onto me still, and that's the same exact behavioral pattern while I'm standing at that venue, and third parties, as I described, grouping around, creating light activity, stalking with light, grouping there because I'm stopped there. That's what I captured in the video. It's 9:01 a.m. 59764M1, the white truck in the parking lot, crossing path as the other third party that is going to be on camera inside of the Dollar General parking lot. Looks like a black female or a male. I don't know what that is, but it's got long dread-like hair. Now getting out of its car as I'm exiting the store. They were waiting as I'm inside of the store. This is monitoring by the people of the state of California. So as I'm exiting the store, the third party whose license plate I recited is driving by. As they drive by, and this third party in 5TNX 745 is closing their door, looking as though they're just now getting out. That's what third parties do. They meet with activity. As I am entering and exiting or crossing any open area, they're meeting with activity. And as that white truck passed, the license plate light all over the wall of the Dollar General that I'm walking past, which at the same time I referenced the security camera. Okay, it is 9:09 a.m. And again, the state's fake sun is in a position that is totally in conflict with where it just was yesterday at this time, but and it is impossible to coexist. Okay, this is the state blatantly stalking with a light source because it's monitoring, and I'm going to go ahead and get a picture of that. That is 6 ATP 673 of all of the third parties that are just patrolling under the state's light source, which I just captured where it is. And again, it's 9:11 a.m. Impossible to coexist with the documentation that is continuously mounted, that already exists, and that continuously is mounted as far as the state's light source being squarely above me everywhere that I go. And being impossible to coexist with, for example, being directly over at the B&G Plaza, and being directly over me here at Emporia and BONVIEW. This is two distinct areas. This is also the same thing the state engaged in. It's directly over me at the TAD office as well, which is on HOLT Boulevard, much more east. It's directly over me at Vineyard and HOLT Boulevard, and remaining at that location, by the way. It's directly over the TAD office at 11 o'clock in the morning. This is what my documentation also reflects. It's directly over me at Stater Brothers at the same time at 8 o'clock in the morning, and yet right now it is remaining directly over my shoulder as I am walking east on HOLT Boulevard, south onto BONVIEW. This is the same pattern of conduct. It is the same impossible light activity because a public entity is blatantly stalking with a light source. And this is that which the people of the state of California are clearly engaged in and aware of while they maintain presence and stalk with activities such as Omnitrans and FedEx, license plate 01802A3. That's FedEx that was beeping its vehicle, using it as a means of audible activity while third parties are patrolling, crossing path under this state's light source that is stalking, literally remaining directly above me as I'm walking south on BONVIEW now after walking east on HOLT Boulevard. And the third parties and the state engaged in that concerted sexual molestation with this impossible light activity. There is no possible reaction of light, orange light, lines of light moving, especially all the way across the street. That's what Omnitrans engaged in, and that's intentional conduct. Omnitrans is a violent sex offender. Understand that's a legal ramification of that. Omnitrans is an exceedingly violent sex offender using that company name for purposes of criminal monitoring in concert and on behalf of the state of California that is operating that monitoring system. And sexual violence is inherent to that. Omnitrans is intentionally touching while it is stalking with that state that is monitoring in concert. And that is intentional conduct. That's called concerted conduct, just like every other third party does. And Omnitrans doing it on a massive scale. And also speaking to that which is hostility of its awareness of my documentation of its criminal activity. That is
that which is to be addressed in federal legislation using whatever job you have, which is the form under which a public entity engages in criminal monitoring, they're going to be prosecuted for that, period. So that company and that individual, those groups of people, including the people of the state of California, but this is how you are dissecting through every criminal tactic that the state of California utilizes for monitoring. And Omnitrans is a sex offender. Omnitrans is the one that's driving by and molesting my person with light, engaging in criminal monitoring, criminal facilitation of monitoring, sexual molestation of my person, and criminal facilitation of that molestation by the state and by every other third party in relevant position monitoring with it. It is FedEx that was creating the audible activity, engaged in the identical behavioral pattern, creating that audible activity under the state's light source that is following me in such a manner that is directly incriminating to the people of the state of California who are sex offenders and who are obsessed psychopath stalkers, okay, engaged in a monitoring system with the state. Very, very much interested in the documentation and the non-existence of a federal prosecution. That boat has sailed. This is documenting not only the prosecution of the state of California is already achieved. I'm showing how the people of the state of California is the state of California. They are one entity, and this is how these criminals and these perverts act together, and they are psychopaths. And I'm not only prosecuting, I am prescribing. And XP 86141, EL and EL Wood Pictures, California 10754, monitoring with the state. DWZ 111, 6XFK 487, XP 57544, Cargoru Trucking, whatever that is. They're using their company vehicle for purposes of federal group stalking and monitoring. The state is flying over my head right now in a plane, and the state's big sun is present. It's 9:16 a.m. State creating massive light activity, creating a shadow. It's 9:18 a.m. and I did just capture that video of the state flying over me, engaged in what is stalking via aircraft. That's the state stalking directly, and creating audible activity for purposes of criminal monitoring with the third parties, some of whom I documented in that video as they are crossing path, and the state is creating that audible activity in a Southwest Airlines plane, creating massive light activity as a shadow of the plane appears all across my person while it's driving under its light source. California 0543883. That is a green face truck. That's the California license number. Anyway, so while the state is creating that audible activity, understand it's for purposes of criminal monitoring, while all those third parties, some of whom that I captured as they were crossing path under the state's light source, while the state was creating audible activity, and while they are creating audible activity using their vehicles, that's criminal monitoring. And in addition to the fact that the third party Southwest Airlines plane is a means of providing instrumentalities of terrorist-like monitoring and stalking of an American citizen, and that which is also the state uses this plane to fly over under its light source, creating a shadow, which is also, by the way, probative of the low hovering light source that it is. If you want to create a shadow under the sun of the entire plane over me, it does not get any more precise and targeted than that, folks. That's called P.O.C. It is 9:19 a.m. now, and I did capture that video as I am approaching the third-party facilitating venue 435 South BONVIEW, where the state's fake sun is over this property. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of that because it's not funny, but it is so pathetic. And this is how you are understanding, and I am fully exposing what is clear stalking with a light source that is not the sun, not even possibly the sun, not even similar to the sun in its behavior, and the stalking with light conduct, because they are monitoring with communication devices. And it is also inherent to what is sexual violence, because while they're monitoring together, they're constantly physically touching and molesting, and that's a violation of the person, for which they shall be subject to federal prosecution of the most severe, because you are engaged in that which is an unprecedented level of threatening and criminal conduct by a government, sanctioned by a government, while you are repeatedly violating the person. Yeah, you're going to be prosecuted for that. It's 9:20 a.m. I'll go ahead and get a picture of the state's fake sun over this venue. 2K90230. Crossing path, driving down this Washington Street at the same time that I'm using my communication device, P.O.C. Same behavioral pattern. It is 9:21 a.m. at 435 South BONVIEW. 9:28 a.m. I did just capture another video of the state flying over directly where I'm sitting in alignment, creating audible activity under its fake sun, which has moved to the back of the property. The state is very deliberate with its placement for purposes of angling light, and it's also positioning light in multiple directions, by the way. But the light source is directly over where I am sitting, whereas before it was on BONVIEW as I was walking, and now it is at position where the same state is also flying its planes, where I'm sitting on the bench. And this is where the state flies over my head as I sit outside. The state is very targeted in its activity creation and where it's flying, and also where it is placing its light. You see many of my pictures and videos of the state's fake sun with the planes and or helicopters captured together. That is a state monitoring. That is a state facilitating monitoring conduct. And that is documentation of the state molesting my person, acting in concert with the people of the state of California. This is at venue, third-party facilitating venue, Mercy House at 435 South BONVIEW. And that was, again, 9:28 a.m., also referencing the state's placement of its light source in direct conflict of where it is right now, because this is where I am, and it's supposed to be over Ontario Ovitt Family Library at 10:10 a.m., remaining there, 10:34 a.m., remaining there, 12:50 a.m., remaining on Lemon for hours, and remaining over the clock of the Ontario Town Square, which is on the opposite side of Lemon Street, right? That's P.O.C. It's 9:30. That's called stalking with activity. At the same time that I press my screen, he uses his phone to stalk with activity. It's currently 11:18 a.m. And I want to go ahead and take a picture of what is the state's fake sun directly over the venue, 435 South BONVIEW. As I'm standing in front of the door, the state is patrolling via aircraft, and within the last hour using the train that directly abuts the property 5 times within the hour. This is the train as a means of audible activity and sensational activity, creating vibrations, while third parties surround inside, stalking with activity in the manner that you could hear the third party's cell phone with simultaneity to my pressing my phone screen. And this is 11:17. Oh, it's currently 11:19 a.m. right now. But what I documented is the state's fake sun. If you recall my documentation that I published on January 14th, where I left from Ontario Ovitt Family Library in the state's fake sun, because that is not the sun that is in all of its zenith, largely planted above me as I stand in front of that entrance at 11:17 a.m., facing 280 Lemon Apartments, and then I remain at the intersection of D Street and Euclid Avenue, where the state's fake sun is captured directly above me, incorporating the street sign. And that is for the duration of hours. I specifically document me leaving from that location at 1:38 p.m., also where the state's fake sun is present directly, squarely above me at this same venue, 435 South BONVIEW. Again, I'll go ahead and take a picture of what is the state's fake sun hovering squarely above me while the state is patrolling via aircraft and using the trains as a constant means of audible and sensational activity. And this is an image that I will go ahead and publish in addition to my podcast, showing how the state third parties loitering in front of the door, the state stalking with light, and third parties stalking with their presence in and out, patrolling inside of the venue, using means of noise activity, including their communication devices, to what is stalk with activity. That's how you monitor. And the state remains with its light source over the venue in direct conflict with what I just pointed out. You can regard actually 24 hours earlier, but specifically with what I also focused on yesterday, January 15th, regarding the state's fake sun at 11:17 directly over the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, over 280 Lemon Apartments, as I am facing it, and I capture it, and I am at the same time at 435 South Bonview, and the state's light source is squarely above the entrance door as I am standing outside of the building, facing south, and this is that which the state engaged in, placing its light source directly above me at the intersection of D Street and Euclid, which is also squarely captured, including the street sign. So that's what I captured in images, and this is just ongoing documentation of what is stalking with light, because the public entity is monitoring with communication devices in concert with the people of the state of California, who I am documenting. That is the entirety of the entity. It's 11:22 a.m., and that is P.O.C. It's 11:47 a.m. and I'm just capturing what is ongoing documentation of the state stalking with light. So I am standing inside of the gates of the property at 435 South Bond. 11:47 a.m. now 11:48 a.m. and so I want to go ahead and capture a picture of the state's fake sun in direct conflict. January 14th, 2021 at 11:47 a.m. directly over the bus hood, the bus stop where I was sitting at D Street in Euclid. I've already captured the state that is stalking and creating audible activity. That's P.O.C. I am showing how the state is stalking with light because it's monitoring. In addition to that audible activity, in addition to its stalking, its group stalking with the people of the state of California. And so what I'm going to capture is that's the significance of the picture that I'm taking while I remain on the property within the gates of 435 South Bonview, where the state's fake sun is remaining again. Okay, I did capture that, and as I do capture the state's fake sun over the venue, remaining for hours, by the way, you have the state flying over by aircraft. This is monitoring conduct, and that is the state stalking with light. This is also directly in contrast to being squarely above the bus stop hood, where I was sitting at the intersection of D Street and Euclid. This is that which is cumulative documentation of what is stalking with light, because the state of California is monitoring by communication devices, and the state's light sources remaining here at 435 South Bonview, because I am here, and the state is monitoring via the people of the state of California. And as of right now, it is the ongoing P.O.C. 11:50 a.m., and that is another plane amplifying activity as I remain surrounded by the people of the state of California inside and around and outside of this venue. The images that I capture show the state's light source has not moved anywhere, literally followed from what was the museum to B&G Plaza, to which is specifically Shiro's Liquor, and walking east, where I did stop and capture the state's light source as it is in front of me and creating light activity. That is my shadow in front of me, so that's multiple light on my person. That's what I captured in video while the state is over J&V Auto. Right, that's what I captured, and it's over at Dollar General, and it is remaining here at 435 South Bonview. And I am just using this as one example of the many that I have already captured of record, that I've already published. 11:47 a.m. Is impossible to coexist if that was actually the sun over remaining for hours at the same intersection over the same bus stop hood, by the way. This is a third-party facilitating venue where they are monitoring, and this is the people of the state of California. Mercy House represents the people of the state of California, where they are engaged in systematic monitoring with the state that is flying over, as you hear, audibly flying over the building and following everywhere that I go, and remaining with its light source. It's 11:52 a.m., and that is P.O.C. Right, 11:59 a.m., now 12 p.m. What I just dictated in my camera on video is how the state's engaged in real-time stalking, literally moving with its light source as I move. And if you look at my picture and listen to my podcast, I'm narrating in real time what is the state's remaining with its light source in a location that is mutually exclusive and impossible to coexist, in addition to everything that I've already published and I've already exposed and documented. What I am speaking to now is the ongoing stalking, literally in real time. And what I captured right now is while I stand at the same position, the state's fake sun has moved from one side of the building to the other, okay? And as I sit at the bench, that's what I was speaking to. As I sit at the bench, the state's fake sun is on the opposite side of the building. opposite from where I captured it in the pictures that I captured at 11:47 a.m. Speaking to that which is impossible to coexist with its fake sun being directly over me as I sit at the bus stop at Euclid Avenue and D Street. And my bigger point is that as I sit at the bench, and I've captured all this in pictures, the state's fake sun is on the now left side of this building that I captured in images in order to show my location where I'm capturing the state's fake sun. And in video, I'm showing how it is on the opposite side of the building where I was standing at 11:47, aiming my camera straight and capturing the state, placing its light source directly in front of the door. Pay attention, P.O.C. is ongoing. As they're walking back and forth in and out the door, they're pacing and they're creating audible activity. That's behind me. That's Mercy House third-party group stalkers. And as like I was saying, the state's fake sun is at a higher location, right? While I am at the senior center, and so this is ongoing documentation of what is real-time movement of its light source, and I just want to capture that. Listen, I'm going to take another picture, and just pay attention to the details. That's what you're looking at. That's P.O.C. All right, it's 12:19 p.m. as third parties are driving north and south on BONVIEW. Orange light touching all over my person. 4 WHB 271. That's P.O.C. As they're driving north and south, same thing as they're driving east and west on BONVIEW. I'm sorry, on HOLT 7FQR 234, 6UNM 203, and this is 3TFT 237 909 7W1 8SSC 606 7CSR 388. All of them touching. 4UMM 222 4HLB 054. Now this is the profound aspect. This is group stalkers at HOLT Auto Body Paint and Collision at 404. Banging noise as I'm walking past, and third parties are molesting with light. 94282, molesting with the state, creating audible activity while they're touching. They're all touching together. Engaging in the criminal elements is that molestation. That's that group sexually perverted conduct. And that is how you document that. This is third party group stalker. What is this? License plate 6ZQA294. Uh, 6DRZ139. 8PNY325. 7JCD160. 8LWK343. Group stalking in a Maserati. Sex offender in a Maserati. Does not matter what you drive and who you think you are. 7ZUC988. These are the people of the state of California group stalking and sexually violating an American citizen while they monitor together. Psychopaths. One with no plates on his truck. They know that they're being documented. A literal fake sun just remained in the same position, moving on opposite sides of the same property and remaining for hours. I arrived at Mercy House around 9 o'clock in the morning. 8JKK846, 5YCW700, 8FUR380. It is currently 12:22 p.m. BJ 35L38 driving north on BONVIEW. 7WFL 640. Right, just documenting video of what is the light activity as these third parties are engaging in crossing path 52334B1 and creating light activity. 6UMK 658, excuse me. For GAL 934. Six UDY 897. RVU 669-25870E2, 58EW 712, 5D 57049, 8KRD 732, 6GBF 144. I think I can lock this up. 8EVN 877, 7PWU 167, 7ETH. I can't see the rest of it. Ends with 26. Approaching BONVIEW. Cameras 6F4 3182, 25383 E2. 7VYV, sorry, 372. It's currently 1225. 4YXJ 465. B732UO 7Y00901. 7APS 244. ABF freight. The large ABF freight truck. City of Ontario. Egregious stalker, second finger 1499911. 7YYL 417. 2338 7J2. That's the City of Ontario engaging in criminal facilitation of sexual molestation as well. All right, that's license 1416743, 57011M2, 24267C3. FAMGON, BSVG 437, 78344L2, 8MVT 438. 49699S2, 7JLU 193, 7D16701, 7JDK 983. No license plate on this. Okay, 8JJY 558, 7PFR 905, 41249. That's a handicap plate. 7RUC 257. Understand it's entirely intentional presence. These are group stalkers who are intentionally present to touch together, because that's the significance of molesting with light, so they can monitor, and they're touching while they're doing so, including USPS. 8LKU 638. And I want to also be clear with regard to third-party facilitating venue Mercy House, engaging in chicanery with regard to its knowledge that it's being documented while it's engaged in criminal activity, which is federal group stalking and monitoring, as the state is engaging in stalking via aircraft and police, via ambulance and fire, by the people of the state of California, whom they represent vicariously, in addition to all those acting with it while I'm at that venue. This is Mercy House closing the office today, telling me at 12:09 that they're closing in 10 minutes. And the office hours that are published, 6FUM 490, 7H57100. The office hours that are published are 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the same thing with regard to their closure after Christmas. In no way publishing whatsoever that they were going to remain closed. Understand, this is P.O.C. with regard to ongoing knowledge and an attempt to limit documentation, because that's what I do while I'm there. And while you're monitoring, you're aware of what I'm documenting because you're monitoring it. And this is that which is coexisting with all the same elements. So it is P.O.C. And I'm also going to note 8FAE 961. Right now, budget truck at the opposite end of this street, which is Emporia. Sitting with hazard lights on. That's stalking with light. I'm sitting at Emporia. I'm facing Dollar General, where the state's fake sun is directly above me. And that is a third-party group stalker using a budget truck to stalk with light in the same manner that third parties do in their cars, the same manner that the state does with its emergency vehicles. It's P.O.C. 8NHR 333. And that is the ongoing behavioral pattern. While, mind you, I am documenting what is a light source remaining in the sky above me for hours everywhere I go. 8CTD 478. 8LMN 356, which is not the sun. 7SVM 577. Capturing it in movement in real time. Now that is fascinating, because that's exactly what you saw. This is, currently it is 12:29 p.m. So I'm going to go ahead and arrive at the intersection of what is HOLT and BONVIEW and Allen. Allen turns into BONVIEW, so it's technically 3 streets, but it's 1 street. Allen turns into BONVIEW. So that's what I'm referencing, and that's where I'm at. The state is using the sound of a train as third parties are patrolling under the light source 8 AVB 089 14300T1 7799 5R2 78777Z2 8NMH 779. And in addition to that, what you have is the state engaging in that same conduct while at 435 South Bonview. That train track that abuts, like I stated, 5 times within the hour. So approximately 10:20 to about 11:30 when I captured my video at around that time. 5 times the train used as a means of creating activity, 8Z04915. This is 7U11894. And the trailer, the license plate on the trailer that it's dragging, 1EJ8223. This is license 6SHE935, 7UDH657, 5MXR169. So P.O.C. inside of the venue where the state is using the train and using planes and also third parties, such as City of Ontario dumpster trucks. It is intentional conduct. They're making noise while the state flies up at a higher elevation. That's third party creating activity while the state altogether, the entity remains present. The state amplifying the sound of plane engines and or using the train while third parties surround and also are creating activity as well. But this is what's ongoing inside. That's monitoring with communication devices. It's the exact same P.O.C. It's group stalking, it's group monitoring, it's group conduct. 8C51863 49386H1. So what this is as I am standing what is beside Dollar General, the state engaging in that same monitoring conduct, which also creates relevant positioning, by the way, the buildup of traffic as they're all monitoring under the state's concentrated light and that use of audible activity via the train. The state is always stalking via aircraft. This is P.O.C. Okay, 8DCG 911. It is 12:32 p.m. and so I want to capture the state's fake sun directly over the same location where I captured it earlier today, Dollar General. This is P.O.C. NXU 261 946ZW handicap plate 84165S2 touching while they're all driving by 7HF 451. This is the entity that is stalking you and monitoring you and repeatedly touching your person. 6TAM 529. While, mind you, it is aware because it's monitoring every word you utter about its criminal activity. It doesn't get any more violent and threatening and criminal than that. All right, that is one that is determined to touch and molest and determined to stalk and follow in absurdly peculiar and demented fashions. 8NSY 163. Group stalker getting out in black tights and a white t-shirt with a high ponytail. All they're doing is crossing paths. And light activity created by their presence all over the asphalt. It's P.O.C. Sitting in their cars, creating light activity, 5VSX 244. P.O.C. This is the parking lot of Dollar General. So as I walk the exact same trail, this is the state's light source remaining over the exact same path, by the way, which I am walking. I was walking east this morning. The state's fake sun supposedly remaining over, the state's fake sun did remain, but this is supposedly the sun that remained directly over what is D and Euclid Avenue. Right now, it's directly over that, and that's what my documentation shows. Does not coexist with being over me at 435 South Bonview or being over me at right here at Dollar General. By the way, capturing it directly at that same location, have not deviated not 1 inch whatsoever in any manner similar to the sun, remaining at the same location, remaining where I remain, following literally step by step, just like these group stalkers are. 4YDG 470, 6MHY 727, LWS 7873, Texas, 8ARE 406, ICOSEY 6NCZ 185, 7TKY 141, AU3V, AU3 3V25, substantially similar. It's a paper plate anyway. 6AJJ094. It's criminal obstruction. They're trying to conceal their license plates. 8CLY454. 66489. S1, can't really see that one. TSLA is on the back of this blue Tesla. I don't know if that's actually a license plate. 8AZ, something 445. Looks like a Ford Explorer. 0539 W2, I can't really see that one. 8GJ347, 79754B3, 8UZ, 891. Third parties. 8MXJ317. I did capture images on my phone just to speak to a clearly identifiable third party engaging in group touching, molesting together with the third parties as the state is aiming light repeatedly on my person as they're all crossing paths. 8MQM933. I'm at the Cardenas, where the state's fake sun is directly over the venue, by the way. And this is 7WIW211. And as they're driving up and down, like I said, 7Q0F363. This is license plate 8NC228. It's a black Mustang, substantially similar. 7613323. I can't really see that one that clearly. But I'm standing in front of the Cardenas on Holt Boulevard. And again, as the state's light source is remaining directly over that venue now where I'm at, 8GRL367 at 12:42 p.m. This is 8RZM266. I want to go ahead and capture that as well. This is real-time documentation of what is stalking with light. And this light source remaining squarely above me, and the state stalking as well, okay, directly via aircraft, okay. That's also what I captured. That's ongoing documentation. Being directly over Cardenas, another example, mutually exclusive to being remaining over the top of the bus stop hood, okay. 7DYY399, a psychopath, a sex offender. 6YQA548, 9275183. 6PNX505. HSG 709, that's an out-of-state plate. Being directly over Cardenas, being directly over and remaining over 435, by the way. If you're physically remaining and literally moving from side to side, at the same property as I move from side to side to the property, that is impossible light activity. Like I said, this is documenting what is not only criminal monitoring, that's molesting with its criminal instrument of monitoring, all right? And they're all intentionally present, they're all intentionally creating activity engaged in this group molestation. 7ZAF117. All right, so you're taking what is the behavioral pattern and speaking to that which is entirely intentional malicious conduct, that which is inherent, 7CYR171, inherent to that is the ongoing intention of everything, including the creation of activity, including presence of that entity, and while they are necessarily touching. And so this is why I'm stressing that, because this is not the, clearly I have already established, and this is ongoing documentation of the same incriminating, not just Mercy House, understand. Every single location, this is what the state is engaged in, stalking with light. When my car was parked on 714 North Vine Avenue, if you pay attention to my videos, the state's fake sun is directly over my car. 8MZV458. That also does not coexist with being and remaining, moving, literally. This is the same light source that I walked east on Holt Boulevard and it was remaining over me. And as I'm walking west on the same street, it's in the same location. If the sun is actually physically located over this street, literally over every building and directly above my head, everywhere that I'm going, it's going to not remain there all day long. The sun, is a star that is in constant motion. This is basic 5th grade science, by the way. Rising in the east and setting in the west, okay? It is not remaining at every location where I'm at all day long, okay? And not only that, California, let alone the city of Ontario, let alone Holt Boulevard, is not the only location where this light source, which is
you want to posit it as the sun, is going to remain physically present visually all day long. That's literally impossible, in addition to what I am documenting as to the stalking with light conduct all over the surfaces and the molestation by third parties. 65696V2. That is the ongoing pattern. Yeah, I'm gonna get your license plate. 8SME254 5V47198 QJC086 7TOD876 8KZL420 6EXN04016, excuse me, 8FBR093 5NBA299 67413X2. This is impossible light activity as this group stalker goes. 8FOD480 8ARW043 touching with it. They're one group engaging in that molestation together because they are intentionally monitoring together, stalking with light together, stalking by entity together. That's the entity acting together. And this is revealing how they do so. Sexually violent conduct as a group, surrounding and touching. Perverted, demented psychopaths engaged in what is stalking. 8TRL571. 8FM925, I can't really see the whole plate. 7GXY726. 5TKJ419. 6ZPN093, I believe. 7WJK591. It's 12:47 p.m. NDL 4028. 8KKA370. Okay, the significance of the time and that which is already not the sun. The clear stalking conduct, remaining where I remain, and following everywhere that I go, and repeatedly touching together, all right, and facilitating that sexual violence. This is mutually exclusive with being directly over and remaining at the bus stop at Euclid Avenue and D Street. Understand the state is stalking with this light source. So were I to walk to that location, guess what? The state's fake sun's going to be directly above that. That is in no way suggesting that that is the sun, and this is common sense. I am literally exposing how a public entity monitors systematically with the people of the state who are aware. They are sex offenders, whether they know it or not, but they know. They know 86197N1. Understand, they know. Their conduct is personified. 1142572. They know, and they communicate their hostility, aware because they're monitoring, aware of what I'm documenting, aware that their license plates are being published. 8JIF592. And I don't have to lie, they are sex offenders and psychopath stalkers. 7HYK321, 7NTN745, 93450U2. That is 4WZD561, 8BW806, substantially similar, 57797K1, 8SNC389, 5JMT341, 8SLS595, 7LCY270, 6KLU666, 5TUD450, 3, I can't really see that one, 6YXA234, I think, 7DGM367, 7PKJ295, 7FGJ360, 8SMH178, 8MYD937, 7SHZ491, 6STV409, JY, I believe, 802. It's a Toyota 4Runner. 7C99018. Seven ZNU 811, 7 BOP 825, 6 KKS 734, 9F 67066, 7A 65975, 7 CVY 584, 7 PYU 085, 8 LEB 959, 7 TPD 328, 680583, 8 SIW 602, RET 33, 4 WSR 091, 7 DHK 550, BUAZ 798,
7VPU086, 7JYU59, 7JYU, sorry, 7JYU759, 8 SJC208, 7EJX897, 6HHH581, 6WIW167. Let alone the fact, let me point something else which is common sense. 7MEP630, the state that is stalking, we already got that. I'm getting these third parties. This is the entity that's stalking with it. That's the plane flying over Cardenas. Southwest Airlines. Very targeted conduct, just like I said. They're stalking with it. 8CMT 527 8NLT 801-21996T2 using Penske truck to monitor with the state. 6DTR 491. Penske is going to pay for that. That's how you're going to prosecute this entity. 8AXS 414, 8TNT 020, 8TYP 840. Let alone understand 12:50 p.m. the state's fake sun is captured directly squarely above me as I stand at the entrance of Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library 24 hours ago, 12:50 p.m. Let me give you another clear picture of where it's at, because it's nowhere near that. The state is engaging in stalking with its light source, and if I go stand there now, that's where its light source will be. That does not coexist, and this is how you are showing that it is stalking. That is the state of California with a light source, because these psychopaths are monitoring with communication devices. Flying over my head everywhere that I go is a clear indication of that as well. 8G80135. All right, and so understand their illegal conduct is the sexual violation of the targeted individual. And they are sex offenders. They enjoy doing it. They're psychopaths. 6XUL625, 7UJC504, 5SCT981, 8NMS552, 7PUV482. That's another plane flying over my head at Cardenas at 12:50, where it's supposed to be. The light source is supposed to be over the library. 8AQ540. I can't really see that whole one. 8SMX539, 7JHJ668. ARHG, Caucasian white female, driving a nice black SUV and an Audi. Guess what? She's a psychopath and a sex offender and a group stalker. 6DFG052. The state has made itself vicariously active through the people of the state of California, and they are all aware that it is a fake sun, a light source directly above, while they are present in the path, while the state is stalking in plane and helicopters. This is the exposure of what are psychopaths, and because they are deriving pleasure from targeting American citizens. 6VLY165, and this is satanic conduct. 6VGC353, it's satanic. While they're driving by in their nice little cozy cars, they're engaging in criminal activity, and they're going to be federally prosecuted for it. 8TEA038, 6VED818. 02827U1, 3JZK495, 8ELH293, 7CSB777, 8PLS214, 7YSC179, 8RDM923, 7YX242, 4SOG715, 8G3102, L888TLR, I believe. Later is what that's supposed to be. 8RQA434. 7MZB916, 8NHP 772, 8EMY993, 28240M2, 5JOR477, 5AIT406, 5W34153. You're not suave, you're a stalker. 5XIC454, 6TTP405, 5 DFA 781. She belongs in a pen. ST4142, I believe, substantially similar. 74426U2, in case I didn't say that one already. 8GQG707, 8RIC719, 8TON949, 8C41498, 8AZE757. Directly incriminating every single last one of them is this the state's use of its light, because this is why you stalk with light. 7JXE594. 71503Z1, 6TON 592, 8EKU 445, 5XUZ 090, 7FYS 283, 6GKK 740, 8PBK 431, PZW 737, that's an out-of-state plate. And as they are driving what is east and west on Holt Boulevard, just like when they're driving north and south on BONVIEW, just like when I'm sitting at the shaded area and they're driving what is north and south path on Lemon Street at C, and impossible light activity, orange light touching all over the surface and all over my person. The exact same P.O.C. 7H UX 648, 8KWM 134. 7TDN 205, 6WQT 683, 214-9083, 8MKD 079, 8AZN 521, 8NCT 734, 56216J2, 8DNC 644, 7, I can't really see that one, 7947, 7MOR 313, 7EQ, see, can't really scratch that, I can't see that one, 8CLF 411, 8DVX 342, 4HYF 574, excuse me. All right, so as I stand here and as I capture that image, it's just ongoing documentation. This is why you document the entirety of the entity, which are every single last one of these sex offenders, AV8, 7E57. Intentionally present. This is not your ordinary traffic because a public entity is monitoring you. They're intentionally present, touching all together. 7SNA 394. They're maintaining presence while the state is maintaining presence in the sky via planes and helicopters and with a fake sun, mind you. Okay? Alrighty, this is 8TDY 229, 7DUH 377, 3257 OD2. ANWHILE 85867 P1 7KRD 551. I can't really see that one that clearly. 8MFA 921 7GWH 250 E1Y1E 7ETF 939 7939 6K2 7MOC 318, 7JHM 266, 8PLZ 878, 5M8082, I can't really see that one that clearly, 7RDE 451, 7378, 7C3, 8BQY 097, who wants to play a soundtrack, create audible activity while he's touching, 5RCF 546, Y127145, I believe. Group stalking, we can get these in the parking lot as well. They're just sitting in the car in relevant position while they're out patrolling. License 8SZU 849 356 58R2. The state's fake sun is literally over Cardenas. They're all in relevant positions. 7YRH 646, 7EUA 814. (90109R2) 6KAA044, 8GGE 821, 8TFV 677, 85640B2, WKC 258, 8U02938, 7F 81279, 8TJY088, MAICLLO, 8GCP 540, 26894X2, 6UJC 784, 6MQJ 552, 5VKF 515, 6LN something 675, I believe. Can't really see that one. 7DEU 425, 8EYK 697, BC27S96, a paper plate, 6UBL 301, 8MRW 518, 8GMJ 954, TRWBB 78, 4 EPR 100, 6 DIR 491, 8 ARW, that's the one that was sitting behind me, loitering, 8 ARW 043, an African-American male sitting in the Cardenas parking lot in relevant position, loitering, that's stalking while they're patrolling in front of me and all around. That's P.O.C. 8 A&E 192, 8 PTM 785, 8 MDP 342, the non-suave one crossing path again. No license plate on that Audi. 6ZLT, I'm sorry, 406, I believe. Group stalking, creating light activity right in front. I'm sorry, right, and well, on Holt Boulevard to my right. Flashers and light by reverse lights. 7TZL249, understanding group stalkers parking around you is a means of creating light activity. It is their means of stalking with light. Okay, it's P.O.C. And they're doing that at the, I'm going to go document this venue, actually. They're all in relevant position, but I want to specifically publish it on the internet, this venue and this third party. It's right beside Cardenas. Here's a group stalker that approaches as I walk in a different direction, 7YBH497. This is why you document them. They are psychopaths. This is at, what is this address? Engaging in group stalking, and there are cameras here as well, so understand what you're looking at is federal group stalking and monitoring. They're in alignment to me, creating light activity, acting while the state is stalking by planes, and also under the state's light source. This is REGIA Flowers. They're standing in front of, this is license plate 28240M2, where he's pacing, creating light activity. Okay, driving forward, driving backwards, driving forward, driving backwards. That's creating light activity in alignment to me. This is the address, 744 Holt Boulevard. It looks like they sell flowers and do check cashing and all kind of stuff. That's P.O.C. I just want to point this one out particularly. Documenting as many of them as possible. They're engaging in the same monitoring as the license plates that I'm documenting going up and down. And guess what? Light is going all across this venue at 744 while he's pacing back and forth in the truck. Again, that's license 28240M2. They're going to be famous for not a good reason. P.O.C. right here in front of REGIA Flores at 744 Holt Boulevard. 7 PGM 231 and 7YBH 497. Excuse me. Thank you. 7 PKA 960 and 7YBH 497 pulls up and it does so again as I engage in any change in activity. So I started walking down the street and they immediately pull up and in order to act with this one that is creating light activity, it's group conduct, and that's what they always do. One is coming out from somewhere in order to maintain presence and activity, and that's what that license plate, that third party was doing. JDK 165 as they are driving in what is the far left lane going east on Holt Boulevard, orange light reaching all the way across the street onto the sidewalk to touch. That's what I mean by being a sex offender and intentionally acting with the state. 7EQU 633, 7YRH 646. All right, and as Omnitrans was driving westbound, this is what I mean, driving westbound in the far right lane. Let me get this license, 7YRH 646, I already read that one. Driving in the far right lane, going westbound as I'm walking east on the sidewalk. Orange light reaching all the way across the road in order to touch. Lines of orange light, okay? Molesting while you're stalking and monitoring. Absence of coincidence, that's the pattern of conduct. 7WIN 626, all right? Just as you document these individual third parties who are engaging in sexual violence while they're monitoring with the state, because the state is vicariously acting through all of them, and it's not a coincidence, they know. 8 EDF 303. This is a whole state system they're engaged in. 7 ZZE 908, 76610Z1. You have third parties, group stalkers that are not directly attributed to the state. They are vicariously acting with the state using any company vehicle. Guess what? Federal law shall mandate that that company be identified as a sex offending company engaged in what is unprecedented criminal conduct to be addressed under federal law. You're engaging in sexual violence while you're federally engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. All of this is to be specifically ratified into federal law. And this is why you document whatever sort of vehicle it is, because not only is it legal legally irrelevant with regard to the nature of the crime of monitoring where a public entity is operating that system. It is also specifically relevant for prosecuting the people of the state of California. The people of the state of California include those using their company vehicles, the form under which a public entity criminally monitors you and sexually offends you, okay? So that is specifically relevant. Omnitrans is a very violent sex offender, okay? Engaging in using its large buses to molest with light while I'm on the bus and while I'm walking outside and the bus is driving past, okay? It's P.O.C. 89450B2, 6MGD 532, 64439U1, 8SYU 921. And now you've got the group stalker that joined in as I started walking, adding light activity while they're loitering, acting with all the rest of them, 7YBH 497, okay? 339CUF, 8PEK 139. 5 RLF 257, 7 NBS 712, 8 SLV 640. It is the exact same federal repercussions using your law license to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, which is a violent sexual offense. Using your medical license, using your medical certification, whatever training you have in order to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, which is a violent sexual offense. This is exactly what I documented while kidnapped inside of West Valley Detention Center, Central Detention Center, Glen Helen Rehabilitation Center, and this is what federal law shall address and shall mandate. Okay, and that's how you're breaking up that whole state system, because this is how the public entity operates. It's operating through the people, through whatever it is that you do, and you're creating and stalking with activity. You're stalking by entity. The state has made itself present through those people and engaging in the guise under which they are engaged in what is sexually violent criminal monitoring and group stalking. Right, and this entity that is a psychopath that's listening to me document its criminal activity, right, that's going to be used in its own federal prosecution and against its own criminal partners, is driving down the street right now, engaging in the same exact behavioral pattern, the same exact one, incriminating 7AED 987, 7MXS 777, under the fake sun, mind you, that's remaining over Cardenas after remaining over 435 South BONVIEW. Okay, 1332569, honking intentionally to create activity, 5WJL 540. DHARA 26, ATRR 902, NBJESUS, you need Jesus. You're a stalker and a sex offender. Engaging in a demonic system, FF01VO. You need Jesus. That's what's wrong with this. This is what is wrong with these people. 4DIF087, 6NTM074. P.O.C. Here comes the group stalker in a bus, Omnitrans. Under all the same facts, folks, it's called P.O.C. 6MQK167. 8HNT 108. This is P.O.C. Stalking with light, planes in relevant position, P.O.C. Monitoring me, P.O.C. Referencing the security cameras, that particular license plate of Omnitrans, even though the company is readily identifiable, 1545806, bus number 2358, P.O.C. And touching, just like every other third party, in a massive manner using its instrument, that is its bus, in order to molest with light. 8GWF 754, 8DAA 025. It's currently 1:09 p.m. Where is the state's fake sun remaining? Over Cardenas, where planes are flying over my head as well, by the way. 6156 3X1. 8KVZ 397. 8SVL 389. 8CZ 906. 8CZG 906, excuse me. L723NO. So understand that, like I've already stated, you could just make point minute by minute, because I have published literally hundreds published hundreds of what are pictures and videos all together, and that which is showing where the state's light source is at all times of the day. 6FEF693, and because it is following me everywhere that I go, it's following based on my program. I'm the leader, and this is why you are seeing what is a light source remaining directly above me everywhere, which is not capable of coexisting. Being directly over Cardenas right now, where it's remaining, this light source, squarely above, where these third-party goof stalkers are just loitering in the parking lot, patrolling in and out, patrolling on Holt Boulevard, all of them engaged in what is group touching, psychopaths. This is just systematic monitoring. It's embedded into society. And so they have this convenience of engaging in this criminal activity, which is sexually violent, while not even addressing. You don't even have to look at it. All you got to do is be present. This is how the state does it. And they are also all aware of the fact that they're being documented. These are psychopaths. That's a psychopath level of criminal activity that the people are fully engaged in with that public entity, doing it on behalf of that public entity. That's what California is engaged in. And this state's fake sun, the light source, present while they maintain presence, while they stalk as a group, engaging in a behavioral pattern that is distinct, all right? 5Z XG672, that is distinct and identical, okay? It is the absence of coincidence. The state's light source also, the other highly probative aspect, incriminating the people of the state of California, the vicarious aspect, the vicarious part of this entity that is operating this system. The fact that it is here, it is mutually exclusive. It is also not capable of being directly over 435 South BONVIEW at the same time. It is not. Or being directly over me, mind you, at D Street and Euclid, where it was captured and documented. That's of record. That is a fact that the light source was directly over the street sign and remained for hours, okay? This is not the same as being directly over that sign on Euclid Avenue as I am facing south, nor being directly over the library as I'm at 435 South BONVIEW in the property within the gates facing south. No, that is not the same, and that is absolutely impossible. But this is Stalking with Light, and I literally am going to publish this video of the real-time movement of the state's light source. Now, that's a psychopath, understand? Now, if I never gave a picture of what's demonic, that is demonic. You are literally looking at it move from one side of the building to the other. You're not looking at my camera stay as it's in a relative position. The sun's not moving that fast, and the state's fake sun is not moving at all. It's moving as I move. And you're literally seeing in that video the real-time movement of that light source as it's trying to, and it cannot, the state that's monitoring my documentation, trying to contradict the fact that it moved from one side of the pole to the other side of the pole and moved from one side of that small little building to the opposite side. And it literally showed you what is real-time movement to the opposite side of the building as I walked with my phone from that side, from what is the left side of that small building that I was facing, where the bench is, to the right side where I was originally in at the front door, okay? I am not pointing my phone at an angle whereby it is staying on that opposite side. I'm pointing it straight forward, and it is remaining straight forward, okay? That's the same stalking conduct inside of any third party's car, inside of your car, if you're the target individual, inside of any train on Metrolink, i.e. that's P.O.C, on the Omnitrans bus, that's P.O.C, I documented that as well, 8TRX 593. That is not what this, that is P.O.C, that's stalking with light in real time. It is literally moving in real time, and that is again what I've captured on video. I've already published this before on, I believe it was August 14th, 2020. But I might need to recheck the date specifically, but it was definitely at Walmart while I take the Omnitrans bus, which is going, by the way, north on Mountain Avenue from HOLT Boulevard, where the state tries to keep its fake sun, and it can't because it's stalking me. So this is going south down BONVIEW, then back up north, then west after going east, remaining directly over me, centered in its position, by the way, and hovering in its placement, by the way. And this is also documentation as I travel north on Mountain Avenue, and the state's fake sun remains in its same exact location in the window as I'm traveling north on transportation, on the bus, and then it remains directly over the building of Walmart all day long, okay? That's P.O.C, it's stalking with light. How are you gonna be? You can even compare this at the same time of day, by the way. It's not a matter of changing seasons. That is a substantial deviation from anything that the sun does. It remained over that building all day long. And it remained from the morning until the evening, which I stayed on and documented it. And guess what? That doesn't coexist with being over here at CARDENAS. This is the time where it was directly over the Walmart. And this is what I'm saying. All of it is one piece of evidence, large piece of evidence against the entity. Third party, 7P.OV.462, and the state directly. All of it is one piece of evidence. You're not chopping that up. This is why you document it. This is why I published it. Because you're seeing what a state is engaged in, and that is absolutely impossible for that to coexist. It's not directly over Walmart right now at 133 North Mountain Avenue, like it was on that day, and I captured it, and it remained over the exact building, the building. I captured it in video. It is spectacular that the state even provided that evidence. While, mind you, the helicopter was flying over me at the same location, flying over the Walmart. This is published evidence. It's P.O.C. That does not coexist with being directly over me at the library at Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, or being directly over me at 435 South BONVIEW for hours, or being directly over me at the bus stop at Euclid Avenue and D Street. Okay, let alone every other place where I have documented the same exact conduct. Stalking with light. And they are sex offenders. You're stalking with light, you're physically touching, and you are, not only that, I'm showing how they're intentionally doing so. These are exceedingly violent sex offenders. It just engaged in routine violation of the physical person while they're engaging in rampant criminal activity. Okay, and aware of the fact of every word that's being documented about their criminal conduct. That's a violent sex offender. That's what federal prosecution is going to address. JKA1LV, 7MYM582. 7UQN182, 7XDJ589. While this group stalker stands behind me, which is USPS, the same exact one, 7202196. That's the number on that vehicle. USPS is readily identifiable though. 6ELU111, KPX2161. $5LDB009, 8GSS218, 7WFW765, 6ETZ149, so what I'm going to go ahead and capture is 6Z32151 and 6TD075, I believe, 7ZLB889, all of them touching. 8NJZ889, all right, this orange light touching all over my person as they drive by. That, like I said, that's the absence of coincidence. That's sex offense. That is sexually violent conduct while they're monitoring, and they're just engaged in doing that because light is central to what they're doing, and that's concerted conduct, and they are engaged in what is an inherently sexually violent group conduct. Okay, I want to take a picture of USPS, because this is evidence against that entity. Because what you have is, you can analogize this to the third-party group stalker in relevant position, taking in her aged parents into her car, guess what, while she's creating light activity, while the state is stalking with a light source over the same exact location, while my person is being violated with light, while they're all monitoring together, and she's creating light activity. There is absolutely no form whereby you are present, engaging in the criminal elements, in that there's some sort of exception. USPS is engaged in P.O.C., and not only that, they're maliciously engaged in it. As I document them and that entity is aware of it, you have them coming in gangs, driving down the street together, as they are aware of in real time of my documentation. USPS is the same psychopath. They are present right now creating light activity under all the same hallmarks, under all the same facts. This is 7202196, and that is relevant to what is proof, objective proof of engaging in P.O.C. Because there is no form, oh, I'm delivering mail. Guess what? You're in relevant position while you're delivering mail. You're creating light activity while you're in relevant position, delivering mail, present on behalf of that entity that's operating through your presence and through that activity creation, which you are, by the way, intentionally creating. It's embedded into society. This is what California is doing systematically. Placing a light source in the sky that's supposed to be a sun is no happenstance. That's no ordinary conduct whatsoever. 7JBG080, 8FZP 254, can't really see that. 7PCV 951. Just want to get, the current time is 1:19 p.m. 5ZWS 905, BLKG 188, 2329 2U2, 6LXJ 776. USPS engaging criminal facilitation while all these group stalkers surround, making it more effective for them to monitor. 5MJB 265. AU07, I can't really say, that's a paper plate. 6ULD 608. 7TXR 080. VELEZ01. 7BCW 822. DLOERA 8SLU 544. 41204T1. NK, I can't really see that one. 7H81307. It's 1:20 p.m. 6MYJ331, 5X, PY474 7SKZ 2328, excuse me. And again, that was USPS parking directly behind me, using their hazard lights and also banging on the door, creating audible activity behind me. 7JHL 743, understand that's what the entity does, by the way, looking for the manner in which they may engage in the criminal elements while appearing as though it is ordinary conduct. Okay, they're not going to, well, actually, I have documented them engaging in blatant, obvious criminal conduct. But this is how the Public Entity Act 7FHA 195, using, for example, USPS rather than an ordinary group stalker parking directly behind me, plainly appearing to be abiding by the criminal elements of monitoring. And understand that USPS is engaging in the identical behavioral pattern, doing it with a USPS vehicle. And there is no difference, especially under federal law. Okay, and that is intentional, that USPS is the actor in order to engage in that, engaging in the same exact behavioral pattern, and there is no difference. 7ABJ 176, 8SEM 316, 8TNW 139, 89470WS. Are you anxious to be documented? What are you doing? There's a plane flying over while he's creating light activity and loitering in direct alignment to me at campus and HOLT Boulevard. License plate 25196B3. 8AOP 594 while the state is flying over. 7SMB 452. 2TJV 424. State is flying over Church's Chicken, by the way, exactly where I'm at right now. That's P.O.C. 8PSL 252, 8SEE 099. I can't really see that one. Let's see, HPL 2653. That does not look like a California plate. 8C&W, go ahead. 7BXW 880. And as I crossed the street before, I think I was supposed to, you always have a group stalker that's present to maintain path, and that's in the form of a third-party group stalker who came out of the blue, a pedestrian, to make sure that someone is present in front of me. It's a Latino male with dark gray shorts and a dark gray t-shirt. That's the group stalking conduct. 84582U1, 6TXZ400, 7NVU492, 5708, 9N1, 7H2782, 8DTR161, touching, bright orange light all over as they drive by and I'm in the shade. Understand they're touching with light, especially because I'm in the shade on the opposite side of the street. 81291, I didn't really see that one. 7HXN176, 7HMM074, engaging in the exact same conduct, no light across my person, all right? They are aware that their license plates are being dictated. 8REP 363, 8PQS 188, 6PYL 106, this is 47718B1. Understand all of these third parties are the same group. So one is speeding off as orange light is all over my person driving by. They're the same group. They're engaged in that touching together. BH39W55. I already read their license plates. They're not getting with me. Anyway, 7SC and 912, 8FBG 987, 8JLT 634, 7UUT 538, 6587 6D1, 7NLZ 816, 6EVL 517, 7RUB 765, 413922Z, 57108V1, 70963G2, 8707W, can't see the last one. 8JOL 975, 6KJA 977, AU9 7M44, I believe it's a paper plate. No front plate, no front plate. P.O.C, here comes a group stalker. He's intentionally speeding because nobody is here. That's a psychopath. Also creating audible activity, ADRJ 708. All right, understand what he was doing. He was hurrying up to get up here and creating audible activity intentionally. So nobody was right here directly next to me in their vehicle. So he speeds up in order to maintain presence in the path. All right, and he's creating audible activity intentionally. So he's also in a hurry to hurry up and get him in the path, but he is also creating audible activity in doing so. 8HQP 775. This is P.O.C. California license number, let me see. The back plate is 4RG5262 on a large white truck. and that is, it's 1:25 p.m. driving east on Holt Boulevard, and as they are driving by, very, very bright orange light, the same orange light, all sweeping all across the sidewalk and all across my person. 7YNL656. Understand that this is a light source, and this is the state aiming light, and this is the state working through the third parties, and that is entirely incriminating against every single third party as they continue to do so. 85277K2, 8W23295, touching with the exact same entity, that is the people of the state of California. 7WMV710. This is 8LJV646. Somebody using a leaf blower in front of me. I want to take a picture of this. This is pathetic. They're surrounding with activity, and that is intentional activity creation while I remain standing here on the, let's see, I want to get 7TET843. What I want to get is 5WEY, no, 2170B3, I believe. 6MPR628, 6EDN718, 8NTX397. So what I want to, the significance of the video and the pictures that I just captured, understand that that's occurring as they're driving both east and west. All right, and I captured the state's light source directly above the top of this building where I am standing. It is directly above my head. And this is also that which is light, that is as they are driving east next to me on Holt Boulevard. This orange light is not only moving across the sidewalk, as I also captured it, it's on the wall, and it is high rising light as they are driving past. And this is that which is supposed to be like a laser beaming off of their car as they're driving by. That's not sun reflection. That's, first of all, not the sun. We could start there. But second of all, this is not the reaction of light. This is not the behavior of light on vehicles, okay? This is light that is used, that the state is concentrating light such that it is moving all over the surfaces, even to the heights of the building, under the sign of the CAGLES Appliance Center, all across that wall. That's what I captured. This is the impossible light activity. I have captured this on more than one venue. And this is P.O.C. while they are intentionally present, and group stalkers like this one on his bike. He just walks past creating audible activity. That's group stalking. That's all they got to do. Third party across the street at 639 in a white Corolla with their hazard lights on. That's all they have to do. While these third parties are patrolling in traffic, all they have to do is drive past. And the state's fake sun is directly above my head. All right? This is why you document 6B37927, 6NPA606. The third parties using their leaf blowers over here at Tune Performance, Sir Knight Auto Sales at 117A. They're creating audible activity. He is literally blowing dust. It is filthy, dirty. It's a field. They're not doing anything but monitoring, creating audible activity while the state is touching all over with light and while third parties surround. That's P.O.C. 7GDY280. Mind you, the state's fake sun is directly over CAGLES, okay? 1:38 p.m. 7BNW149, 7NTC541, DN274, 7ZYX433, 5PPCO32, 8LAM578, 8MVW165, 8146V2, 5563C2, 7T25916, 5TPU602, 843872. It is like an arcade as light is just, orange light is just moving all across while they're driving west, mind you, on the opposite side of the street. What I showed you, moving on, light moving across the same building structure where I'm standing in the shade. Okay, so, and they're driving in opposite directions. And this is the light that is shooting across the road as they're driving west in the far right and far left lane, and light shooting onto the same surface. All right, that's P.O.C. That's exactly what Omnitrans is engaged in as well. Understand the exact same behavioral pattern. It is 1:31 p.m. and I am standing at what is Malcolm and Holt Boulevard, where I captured what is the state's fake sun directly over me at the CAGLES Appliances. It's nearest Malcolm, in between Malcolm and campus. This is a third-party group stalker in relevant position. This is an old Latina female, communication device, studying it in her hand. She's engaged in P.O.C. under the state's fake sun. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. This is what she says. This is P.O.C. This is the malicious conduct. They're psychopaths, 5VGR232. The state's fake sun is literally moving east, remaining over, and light shooting all over the place. It's pathetic. Anyway, it is currently 1:32 p.m. She was remaining in relevant position, that's all. Just sitting at the stop sign, blocking the path, and loitering, studying her communication device, by the way. (7YDW 395 1473186). That's Omni. ALME16. And understand what this light activity is. It is tantamount to literally the reflection of the cars onto the asphalt. It's like a bubble of orange light around their cars onto the asphalt. This is incredible conduct, incredible. While they are all present and while the state is stalking with a light source and while the state is stalking directly. This is the state stalking vicariously. They're monitoring at 624 Hope Boulevard using a line outside in order for purposes of relevant positioning. P.O.C. 8JUZ328. AU71E82 to cover up a license plate. It's a paper plate. 8MXX451. Light activity off of this Ford Focus. 8PZK107. Okay, so as they're driving east on Hope Boulevard, light moving into the depths of what is 616 Hope Boulevard. This looks like a little shack of a house. Into the depths, into the corner where this red fence is, and it's got 616 graffitied on it. Light activity moving across, light activity moving all across onto the inside. That's molesting with light while they're present. That's P.O.C. It's 1:33 p.m. by the way. I'm gonna take a picture of that because this is where the state is aiming that light. It is currently 1:34 p.m. (6ZQA 817 8LJY 334 44979 T1). All right, I did take an image of that, of the, just so you can see the length to which this light activity, this bright orange light is reaching, and it's reaching into the depths of all the walls. And there's like a little shack, and the address is 616. And so as third parties cross path this impossible light activity appearing onto the street, appearing onto the sidewalk, and onto the heights of the walls, even into the crevices, into the corners, moving all around the surfaces, in other words. That is the pattern of conduct. And so I just took a picture just to get an image of how far it is reaching. And that is extensive light activity while you're merely driving by and supposedly under a sun. This is not the sun. This is the concerted conduct of third parties in the state that is concentrating light. And this is that which the state is routinely engaged in. And the people of California, the people of the state of California represent that state. It's intentional conduct, and that is the inherently sexually violent conduct that they're engaged in together. This group stalker is literally waiting for me to approach the sidewalk. This is P.O.C, what they all engage in. This is maintaining presence in the path. This is what they do at Plum, using their hazard lights, sitting in the middle of the street, making sure that I remain surrounded at all times. And this is a group stalker, her license plate, AELX 73. It is 2:59 p.m. At 2:57 p.m., I just got through taking pictures of what is the state's fake sun as it is remaining directly over me, where I am sitting at the bench facing the City Hall building with my back to the Ontario Senior Center. And again, this is the state stalking with its light source. Directly, the state is stalking with light vicariously through the people of the state of California. That's the behavioral pattern. And again, that's engaged in right now as I sit at the bench, a third-party group stalker in relevant position to my position on the bench using a large white truck with the hazards on, stalking with light, remaining in relevant position. The state's fake sun remaining directly over me at this bench where I'm sitting, which is above the Senior Center, Ontario Senior Center. Understand that the state is engaging in placing this light and keeping it wherever I am. This is in direct conflict with what I documented and published at 2:57 p.m. on January 14th, for example, where I am capturing the state's fake sun, which is directly over where I am located on Euclid Avenue, which is facing a different direction, by the way. It is absolutely impossible for that to actually be the sun, which is not what I am in any way, not what I need to prove or what I'm trying to prove. What I'm showing is that it's not even possible, but let alone this is the state engaged in blatant stalking with its light source because it is monitoring. And that same demented psychopath conduct is what the people of the state of California are fully engaged in. And this is why you have a third party that is abiding by the pattern of conduct and surrounding with light using a large white truck that has been positioned for a prolonged period using hazard lights aimed in the direction and direct alignment. That's called being in a relevant position while the state is above, flying, mind you, over the City Hall building, over the Ontario Senior Center, engaged in stalking via aircraft, stalking with the sirens. The state is sounding its sirens while I'm sitting here, and documenting what is at 2:57 p.m. the state's light source, that is a fake sun, directly over the building where I am remaining, facing again the City Hall with my back to what is the Senior Center and Page One Cafe, which is the Ontario Ovid Family Library Cafe. That is behind me, so my back is to that location, and understand Euclid Avenue, where I was at 2:57, where I captured the state's fake sun directly over me at and at that intersection. This is an entirely different angle, requiring me to be facing an entirely different direction in order to capture it. If this were actually the sun that was over the Senior Center right now, this is an entirely different location. It is an entirely different angle. It is mutually exclusive, not just to that example, but also being and remaining over 435 South BONVIEW, where I was, where that light source remained for hours while I was there between the hours after 9 a.m. Until they kicked me out earlier, because they are always changing their hours, aware that I'm documenting P.O.C. as the light source remains over that property, and I continue to document the state stalking by entity and with activity and with its light source, leaving at around 12:30, and the state's light source present over the exact same venues hours later as well. That's P.O.C. It's 3:02 p.m. right now. What you will want to know is that the location of this light source that is directly hovering over what is the Senior Center, which is the building that I'm sitting in front of, and this is also that which is not, and you can see in the camera that this is not the location as it remained yesterday, where I remained at the 280 Lemon Apartments, which are in between the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library as I said, at that shaded area, and the state was engaged in the same pattern of conduct of molesting with light as third parties drive by on C Street and Lemon at that turn circle, engaging in the same behavioral pattern, which is sexually violent, while they're stalking and monitoring with communication devices. The state's fake sun being over the Ontario Town Square is that which I would not be able to capture standing at this corner of this building at this location, based on the location where the state's light source, where the state is placing its light source. And again, the state is placing its light source relative to where I am. It's based on where I am, and I am just pointing out common sense in order to see the consistency with which I am documenting and the consistency of what is stalking with light. And so what I am capturing at 257, I am speaking to exactly what is in direct conflict with just one example, 435 South BONVIEW, for example. Or you can locate at the down to the minute, 2:57 p.m., where the state's fake sun was over me at that intersection, which is D and Euclid, an entirely different direction. My camera in no way even facing this angle, this location, which is, there is no height of the or elevation of the light source whereby it's going to be captured in any way. So this is an entirely different location, again, distinct, and where the state is placing it because it's based on where I'm at. And what I am also speaking to is that this location is not even over the Ontario Town Square. I am capturing what is clearly above the senior center, above the bench where I'm sitting at, in between the City Hall, between the Ontario Center, the senior center, excuse me, and this is not over on the Ontario Town Square. The state is moving its light source and keeping its light source where I am because they are engaged in, and that is the people of the state of California, the vicarious actor, the vicarious aspect of this entity that is monitoring and engaged in highly demented stalking. And this is why you have third parties engaging in presence while impossible light activity. This is light that is not naturally occurring, which would never, it's not happening with the actual sun, let alone the fact that this is that which is not a natural behavior of light, showing the reflection of vehicles, tantamount to a reflection of orange light all around the vehicles, all over the ground, on the asphalt, on the sidewalk, even up to the heights of the top of the building. This is literal molestation with light. This is a behavioral pattern everywhere that I go, wow, this light source is directly above, and the state is directing light in multiple directions, while, by the way, third parties are engaged in that same demented psychopath level of stalking, maintaining presence everywhere that I go, stalking with activity, making sure that I'm surrounded with activity, which requires, by the way, ongoing real-time knowledge of what I'm doing. They are listening in real time, which is how you monitor. And so you're talking about that which is a corporate state system. They are all tuned in to what I am doing, when I'm doing it, where I'm doing it, and this is why they are, and how they are capable of stalking with activity, because that is the term. They're literally following, mirroring any movement and activity on a communication device with audible activity, with any kind of noise, with their presence in the path, showing up out of anywhere in order to maintain presence in the path, which is how you monitor. Stalking with light, using their vehicles, using any manner of a light creation while they are present, and that's the group conduct, and that's the behavioral pattern, and it is highly demented. The state using literally an artificial sun that is not the sun, and this is just ongoing documentation that establishes that. The state is also, what I have shown is that this is requiring real-time movement of this light source in the same way that the state is stalking with planes and helicopters remaining where I am. The state is doing the same thing with an artificial light source in the sky. This is the most extreme and highly unfathomable, demented, highly demented, twisted, very, very, very unnatural to even conjure up this sort of notion, this idea for monitoring, and this in concert with a people, that is the people of the state of California. And that's why you engage in such a massive manner, concentrating light via a fake sun, which the people of the state of California are highly aware of. This is why they are abiding by a same identical pattern, literally stalking and creating light all around me, and stalking with their presence, and stalking with any manner of noise. That is demonic activity, by the way. It is also criminal monitoring with communication devices. It's 3:08 p.m.